Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to this lesson, Borrow Smart, Repay Smart lesson. I'm John Thompson, and thanks very much for taking the time. Let me get rid of that. Let me kind of get through this lesson here. All right, so when we start thinking about the real estate we own and we try and compare it to other investments, there's three things that we sort of compare investments to. There's safety, liquidity, rate of return. But we understand that when we have money in savings or cash, we understand where that money is, how do we get to it, and if it's safe and so forth. We understand that when we put money into the stock market and other types of investments, we kind of get we're taking risk and so forth. But in many cases, our house wealth, and I'm not talking about, the house value going up and down. I'm talking about the money we put inside the wealth, the equity. The difference between the mortgage amount that you have and the value of the home. That's really your house wealth when you look at it from a balance sheet perspective. And we have to ask the question, is that asset, because again, it's often the largest asset for many families, is it safe? Is it liquid? And what's the rate of return on it? And that's how we really compare investments to other things, safety, liquidity, and rate of return. It doesn't really matter what you're investing in, whether it's soybeans or gold or real estate or oil, the stock market, bonds, and so forth, safety, liquidity, and a rate of return. So where's the house kind of fit into this model, right? At the end of the day, you kind of look at this model here, and we go through and you got rate of return over here, you got low rates of return, high rates of return, you got low safety over here, high safety over here, low liquidity, high liquidity. Cash we get has high liquidity, pretty safe, but very low rate of return. Mutual funds are somewhere in the middle. They're relatively liquid, but maybe not super liquid, takes a few days. The rate of return may be somewhere in the middle. And the safety is somewhere in the middle, right? And then futures and stocks and sort of playing those kind of things tend to have higher rates of returns, but they're very unsafe. They're very volatile, not overly liquid, and the rest of it. So where's our house fit in that model? That's the big question. And most people don't really consider it and how it kind of works. We're going to deal with safety today. Then some subsequent lessons we'll talk about liquidity and rate of return. But safety is really the risk of loss of your money. There are four obvious threats to wealth in your home. There's appreciation, depreciation. We understand that if house value goes down, you're losing part of your equity. Foreclosure, lose a job, something else happens, foreclosure. A lawsuit, when you're going through a lawsuit, you get sued and so forth. That's a threat to the wealth in your house because you could potentially lose your house. There's one general threat to building wealth that actually may help some people. That's inflation. The reason inflation is important is because at the end of the day, as things go up and down, the home value goes up. That could actually help you, but it could hurt you in other kind of areas. Appreciation is an interesting one as well. People might say, well, why would appreciation be a threat to the wealth of the house? Well, because it could mean your property taxes are going up, your homeowners insurance is going up, and all of a sudden maybe you can't afford those things and it starts to create some kind of problem. So that's safety. So safety, the money inside your house. Again, we're not talking about the value of your house. So the house goes up from $500,000 to $600,000. We're talking about the money inside your house, the actual equity in the house itself. Okay, so here's a kind of a key question. If you had access money in your house, would you borrow or sell? And we're going to deal with that kind of in the next lesson. So when we compare real estate to other investments, we think about the safety of our largest assets, really mostly beyond our control. External influences like, what's happening in the overall economy, geopolitical, people tweeting, all of those things can affect the value of your home on a month-to-month basis, but how much of that do we really control? What we do control, though, is how much wealth we choose to put in our homes, the initial down payment you put in the home, how you pay down the balance of the mortgage over time. Those are things we do have some control over. I want to point out that a very simple strategy for protecting the wealth in your home is a home equity line of credit. That means you can access wealth in your home at any time by writing a check or doing a draw on that line of credit. So that gives you access to the line of credit. And one way to protect the wealth in your home. For seniors over the age of 62, you could also consider a home equity conversion mortgage, also known as reverse mortgage, which is a completely different set of lessons. But anyway, the one thing I'm going to advise is before making any large principal reductions, make sure you understand safety, liquidity, and rate of return, and discuss those decisions with the important advisors in your life. So thanks very much. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this valuable lesson. And I want you to know that, of course, this and many other things are located in my book, co-authored with Todd Ballinger, Borrow Smart, Repay Smart. If you'd ever like a copy, just let me know and we'll be happy to send you one. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful day.